Praised be Jesus and Mary. St. John Bosco accomplished what many people consider impossible. He walked the streets of Turin, Italy, looking for the dirtiest, roughest urchins he could find, and he made good men of them. His extraordinary success can be summed up in the words of his patron, St. Francis de Sales. The measure of his love was that he loved without measure. His knowledge of poverty was firsthand. He was born in 1815 and raised on his parents' small farm. And when his father died, his mother and her three sons found it harder than ever to make ends meet. And although John was still a small boy, he had to help with his brother with the farm work. His life was hard, but he was happy. To amuse his friends, he learned how to juggle and walk a tightrope, but he would entertain them only on the condition that each performance begin and end with a prayer. And as he grew older, he began to think of becoming a priest, but his poverty and lack of education made this seem impossible. And a kindly priest recognized his intelligence and gave him his first encouragement, teaching him to read and to write. And by taking odd jobs in the village and through the help of his mother and some charitable neighbors, he managed to get through school and find his way to the diocesan seminary in nearby Turin. And as a seminarian, he devoted his spare time to looking after the poor boys who roamed the slums of the city. And every Sunday, he taught them catechism. He supervised their games and entertained them with stories and tricks. And before long, his kindness had won their confidence, and his Sunday school became a ritual with them. After his ordination in 1841, he became assistant to the chaplain of an orphanage on the outskirts of Turin, and this position was short-lived because when he insisted that his Sunday school boys be allowed to play on the orphanage grounds, they were turned away. So he resigned, and he began looking for a permanent home for them, but no so-called decent neighborhood would accept the noisy bunch. At last, in a rather neglected section of the city, where no one was likely to complain, the first oratory was established and named after St. Francis de Sales. At first, the boys attended school elsewhere, but as more teachers volunteered their time, classes were held at the house. And enrollment increased so rapidly that by 1849, there were 3 oratories throughout the city. And for a long time, Don Bosco had considered founding an order to carry on his work. And this idea was supported by a notoriously anti-clerical politician named Rattazzi. Rattazzi had seen the results of his work, and although there was an Italian law that forbade the founding of religious communities at the time, he promised government support. So the founder priest went to Rome in 1858, and at the suggestion of Pope Pius IX, he drew up a rule for his community, the Society of St. Francis de Sales, better known as the Salesians. And for 4 years later, he founded an order for women, the Daughters of Mary, Help of Christians, to care for abandoned girls. Finally, to supplement the work of both communities, he organized an association of lay people interested in aiding their work. St. John Bosco's method of education could be used in Catholic schools today. It's a preventive system that rejects the use of corporal punishment and places the students in surroundings removed from the likelihood of committing sin. He encouraged frequent reception of the sacraments of penance and Holy Communion. He also balanced catechetical training with fatherly guidance, seeking to unite the spiritual life with one's work and study and recreation. He was able to capture the hearts of his boys with his smiling face and belief that to give complete trust and love is the most effective way to nourish virtue in others. And exhausted from touring Europe to raise funds for a new church in Rome, Don Bosco died on January 31st, 1888. He was canonized in 1934 by Pope Pius XI. And his work continues today in over 1,000 Salesian oratories throughout the world. As a matter of fact, this statue of St. Francis over here was made to order, actually, by one of those oratories located in Peru.